Okay. So I've noticed that I've got establishing business credit part 2 on the banner down below. This should be part 3. And you know what? I'm going to do this. There, fixed. All right, so I'm going to give it a couple minutes for some folks to join in here. It is Tuesday night, just the week prior to Christmas. It looks like most of the Midwest is bracing for some deep chill that's supposed to hit us and potentially a storm on Friday. I know that the temperatures are expected to take a deep plunge Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it'll be a frigid Christmas, and hopefully for some of us in some of the middle and southern states, we might get a little bit of snow out of the whole deal. My family up in Wisconsin, I think they're sitting around 10 or 12 inches of established snow right now. So that's they've got the white Christmas. Well, I'm going to get started here. If you join us and you're watching this as a replay, give me a hashtag replay. Don't forget to mash on that like or love button. I could use some hearts out there. That'd be great. I'm gonna, as people pop in, I'll probably stop over and say hi to them. But we'll get started. So my name's Darren Meyer. Lots of people know me as Oscar. It's a Navy nickname that stuck, right? I help startup and small business get established, gain an online presence, and grow. And tonight, I'm going to cover the third and final installment on building business credit that escalates. So in my previous 2 sessions, I covered the basic requirements to establish and start to build business credit. If this is the first video that you're watching, I invite you to go back to number 1 and number 2 and follow through those, because they'll bring you to where we are now. And I'm not going to do a recap in this session. So the initial steps and setup, you should be here, which is you've got your DUNS number. Okay. You should have payments on time. At least 90 days should have passed since you paid for the products that you ordered. All right. This is important because you have to give the vendors time to process and report to DNB, Duns and Bradstreet. And trust me, I made orders in June, I believe, and they just reported in November. The three companies that I established with. So got to be patient, and you got to just kind of hang out. So that was vendor credit. Now, those previous lessons lesson 2 was basically focused around vendor credit. Now you're seeking at least 3 credit approvals. More is better. 4 or 5 is perfect, from basic retail credit account vendors. All right. So a quick run over of who these are, right? A vendor list that works, that I know that works, are Global Industrial, Gemplers, Discount School Supply, and Granger. Those are 4 companies that I know today extend retail credit. Okay. If you need help with any of these, reach out to me, drop me a hashtag down below, hashtag finance, and I'll reach out to you and help you answer the questions. Or you can DM me with, with what particular questions you have, or we can do a FaceTime, something we can get together. All right. So once you've applied, you need to apply to each of the four that I listed above, and you're targeting at least 3. In the application, they may ask you for reference, right? For a credit reference. And all you have to do is reference back to one of the 3 previous vendors that you set up credit accounts with. Okay. So you're going from from companies that just about anybody can get a small credit line from, to companies that have larger credit lines and are more established, and you're climbing that ladder, right, to bigger and bigger, broader and broader credit lines. So once you're approved with these 3 or 4 or however many you can get, go ahead and buy something from each vendor, right? You've got to apply for the account, and then you've got to use it. So make sure that your first and any subsequent payments are on time. That can't be emphasized enough. On-time payment with these accounts is critical. You will torpedo your DNB number, your Paydex number, like a stone falling through the air by missing a payment or making a late payment. So this is all about building good credit for your business. This time, so with these, as I described in the last one, I asked you to wait 20 days, right? You make a purchase, you put it on your calendar, you set alarms, whatever it is, but at the between 20 and 30 day mark, and I recommend between 20 and 25 day mark, you make the payment, the payment in full on that order, right? You pay for that order. With these guys, with these companies, that's not necessary. You don't have to wait the 20 days. It's necessary you make the payment, but you don't have to wait 20 days to do it, because these guys report differently. So go ahead, make your order, give it a couple days, make the payment, and be done. And repeat. You can make a couple of orders to show that you're to build your history with them. So, payments made on time ensure that you have a perfect Paydex score, and that's what you're shooting for here, is a perfect score. Let's see. Now that everything that you've done before and these steps with these 4 vendors, now you've got to just wait for the reporting to happen. Okay. Something you can do, something I kind of discovered you can do, is you can call Dun & Bradstreet, have your DUNS number, if you have your DUNS number, which by this point you should, have your DUNS number. You can call them and ask them, hey, I'm just trying to check, I'm trying to establish credit for a small business, just getting started. And I would like to know, can you check and see if anybody has reported on me? How have any of my creditors reported on my credit? And this is a way to just check without using your one time a year free report, right? You can do that later. You can actually call or email them and request a one-time pull or a one-time free report on your credit, and they'll email it. They'll actually physically mail it to you. And then after that, I think it's something like $50 or $60 to get the report each time after that free one. So this actually circumvents even doing the whole formal request portion, because right now you don't really need to see the report. You just need to know that your creditors reported on you. So again, you can call them, you can talk to a customer service rep. They'll look up with your DUNS number, they'll look you up. They'll even, depends on how loose-lipped they are, they'll even potentially tell you, the amounts, the date things were ordered, yada yada, right? So it's cool. It's a nice way of finding out. If they tell you, nope, your DUNS number is, the report is basically empty, then you've still got time to wait. All right. So you're waiting at least 90 days to pass since you paid for, in the previous section, I talked to you about establishing vendor credit, right? You've got to wait 90 days from the time that you paid for them to report to DNB. Now that in this section where I just told you the names, these 4 companies, Global Industrial, Gempler's, Discount, School Supplier, Grainger, you've got to wait 45 days. They report faster, but you have to wait 45 days after you paid, right, for the order for them to report. All right. You're also waiting in the last session, I talked to you about getting your phone number registered in Directory Assistance, or 411, right? So it takes somewhere between a week and 3 weeks for that to actually propagate out to the whole system. So that's something that's super easy to do. You just call and look, or request your company's name, call and request, and see if your company is showing up in the 411. So you need your DUNS, you need your 411 registered, you need the 45-day the 45-day wait for your latest, and you need your 90-day wait for your very first earlier credit reports to report to DNB. All right, so a couple of key things I want to remind you of. Remember to use your business address as registered with the state, right? When you're doing any of these transactions and applying for the credit, you need things to be consistent, and this actually helps you with other things later when you're establishing yourself as an online entity. All of your address and information for your business need to coordinate and line up for the search engines to find you and that sort of thing. But for this in particular, to get approved for advanced credit, your business address as registered with the state needs to match everything, all of your applications. Always use your business checking account information, not your personal information. You will be declined if you mix and match these things. You're going to get turned down. If your business is small or relatively new, you should personally guarantee these vendors, right? The vendors that you're in this session that I named out that you're applying with, if they ask for a personal guarantee, do it. Okay, it's worth it right now, because what you're going to do, think of this as climbing a ladder to the next level of credit, right? Once you get up to the next level, you're not going back down, so you can just tip the ladder over, right? Throw it away. Basically, you can go back and you can close out those accounts that you personally guaranteed. So there's no harm, no foul. It's sometimes it's part of the process. So once you have a history on your business credit reporting, then your personal credit is much less of an issue. It's unimportant, and it's unaffected. As I discussed in previous lives, you'll now want to seek out at least three net 30 merchant credit cards. Okay, so I think in the last session, I talked about business credit cards. These are merchant credit cards. Okay, there's a little bit of a difference, but merchant credit cards are revolving credit. They're an amount of money that is or credit that's granted to you, and you can expand that over time. So you want to seek out three of them. Once you have one, once you have one established, make sure to use it. Now, let me clarify something also that I said in a previous session. You don't want to go and solicit these three merchant credit cards all at the same time. Okay, you need to space them out. It shows poorly on any credit report, even your personal credit report, if you go out and seek loans or credit, multiple lines of credit at the same time. So I have a list, and I'll provide it to anybody that is interested. I can provide you the list of merchant credit cards that report to DNB and that will aid your credit establishment, vice impinge it. And I had talked about that earlier. There are lots and lots. I mean, there's hundreds of business credit cards out there. Some don't report at all to DNB. Some only report negative activity to the DNB, and some report all activity. So you want cards that report all activity. All right. So again, once you have it, use it. I'm not saying run it up. I'm not saying max it out, because I'll tell you at the very end here what the guidelines are. I'm just saying use it and pay it. As long as you make your payment on time, you'll have a perfect Paydex score. So always paying attention to the billing cycles. And honestly, with those cards, I would use it, give it 5 days, pay it off. Paying on time or paying the balance in full from these revolving credit accounts will build your credit diversity, and it's going to greatly boost your Paydex score. And that's really what you're looking for in the end. So let me know if you want to know the names of those cards when you get to this stage. I'll be glad to share them with you. There's also retail credit accounts you can apply for, such as Staples, right? Staples actually will issue a Staples card. Walmart will issue a Walmart credit card. You can get that in your business name. And Sam's Club, there's a few others. There's 4 or 5 others that'll issue you business credit cards. The thing about Staples, I'm not sure if you can only use it at Staples. I believe you can only use it at Staples. But anyway, these are retail credit accounts that work for you. So if you're interested in building and growing your business credit history, the steps I've covered in this and the previous 2 videos are what it takes. There are more advanced retail credit accounts that you can establish as the next ladder to climb, but there's plenty to do between video number 1 and this video before we even get into that. So once I've got a few people or a few businesses interested in that sort of product, growing to that scale, then I'll shoot a video on it and we can go over that. But so some points to remember in general to maintain good business credit score: you'll want to, 1, use less than 30% of the credit available to you, right? So if you get a $5,000 credit card, you want to use less than 30% of that allowed credit at any time. Make your payments on time, always on time. Okay, and avoid applying for multiple loans or lines of credit or credit cards all at once. Space it out. All right. So good luck. And if you need guidance or have questions, drop me a #finance down below in the comments and I'll reach out to you. Happy credit building. And if I don't, okay, I've got a couple folks. Quentin, great to see you, buddy. Have you, if anybody's got any questions before I log off, otherwise, this is going to be a wrap for tonight. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm going to have a couple guests, and we're going to talk about the year in review, basically, where people have come in their business adventures over this past year, just a little reflection and where people are headed for next year. So again, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful night. Great having you here. Cheers.